Welcome to the Crunch Time YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the New England Patriots and what they should be doing heading into this offseason after they will not be making the playoffs for the first time since 2008. Now, I don't think many expected the Patriots to be like a true title contender like Pittsburgh, Kansas City, Green Bay, Seattle. But people still thought, okay, maybe they could make the playoffs as a 7 seed now. But that didn't work out. A lot of it had to do with injuries, opt-outs. Their quarterback position was interesting. Their offense wasn't very consistent. So they were dealing with a lot of issues the entire year. But I do think this team has shown a lot of signs of growth and improvement that is really going to help this team in the future. And I believe this all starts with the quarterback position. We all know this is the most important position in all of football. And while Cam Newton was obviously not what many expect or hoped, he did look very good in the beginning of the year, but his passing is just not the same. Those injuries really have banged him up. I don't think he'll ever be like MVP Cam. But the Patriots saw what a quarterback who can run can do for your team. And I think this will really give them interest in a little more athletic quarterback in the draft. Like, they could be interested in maybe like a Zach Wilson. It's Mac Jones. Zach Wilson, Trey Lance. So I do think that's really going to help the Patriots. If they can find their future quarterback in this year's draft, that will benefit them, obviously. And I do think there's a lot of great quarterbacks to choose from. Obviously, I don't want to make this whole video about what they should be doing at the quarterback position. They obviously still have a lot of moves to make just on the roster. But they do have quite a bit of cap space, have a few players returning. For example, Dante Hightower, he opted out. That's a pretty big player for this team. He's going to be coming back too. That's going to help the defense. Gilmore is interesting. I feel like they could trade him with the emergence of J.C. Jackson as a really good corner. I don't think J.C. Jackson is what Gilmore is. Gilmore is a top 2, top 3 corner in the league, arguably the best. I think he's the best right now. But if they move on from him, I feel like they'd probably get a first-round pick or at least a high second. So that would really help them because this is a stacked wide receiver class like last year. Might not be 100% like as good as last year, but this is still a very good receiving class. So if you were able to trade Gilmore for maybe like a pick this year, and then you're able to get a quarterback and then a wide receiver, this team would be looking like they have a very bright future. Obviously, Edelman, he didn't play a lot this year. That didn't really help them. Brady was gone, which really was the biggest issue for them. Didn't really have that leader like him. Cam is good for the locker room, obviously, but he just isn't as talented, or he can't really lead a team right now. The offense has been the issue for the Patriots this year. They've not been they haven't been able to win any game really by their offense. Since the halfway point of the season, the offense just took a massive turn for the worse. After Cam got COVID, he just wasn't really the same. The team really took a step back. They lost games to teams that they really thought, like, we could beat them. Like, I remember they lost to the Texans. They got blown out by the Rams, who lost to the Jets. So they were losing games that were a little more winnable. And that was a big issue. But the main point of this team has to do this offseason is they need to get a nice surrounding core for their QB of the future. They have nice wide receivers. Damian Bird, he's all right. N'Keal Harry, Jacoby Myers, they're all right. But this is probably the worst, or bottom 5, actually. Bottom 5 receiving cores in the league. It's miserable. They don't even have a tight end, really. I don't think they've had a reliable tight end since Gronk left. And that's a big issue. They drafted 2 in this past draft with Dalton Keene and Devin Asai. I do think that one of them is going to emerge as a good player. Hopefully, both of them can be solid pieces, but they need to get better weapons. Their running back group is actually it's actually pretty good. They have James White, Sony Michel, Damian Harris, who kind of broke out, so they're good there. Their offensive line is looking really good with their tackles. They have Onwenu. He's their right tackle, I believe. They have Isaiah Wynn. Their guards with Shaq Mason, Joe Tooney. And at center, they have David Andrews. So this is probably a top 5 offensive line. So if they get a few weapons, this team could be competing again next year. I don't think this team is going to have to rebuild like other teams have to, or they really are bad for a few years. This team has a lot of good pieces already. They just need to get a few weapons and a quarterback. Now, this upcoming free agency, I don't believe it's as stacked as last year's at the receiver position. But the main guy who I believe is there is Juju Smith-Schuster. That would be interesting for them to get a player like him. He'd be a solid number 1 for them. I don't believe he's like a top 15 wide receiver in the league, but he'd really add a lot of explosiveness to this team and be a solid target for a rookie to look for. And one thing I do want to end the video off with is talking about Carson Wentz. Now, he is in the thumbnail, and that is for a reason, as we've seen how Jalen Hurts has been playing. The way he plays against Arizona and the Saints, it makes me believe he's their QB of the future. Now, I believe Carson Wentz isn't as bad as he played this season. There were a lot of factors, and the same receiving core that Jalen Hurts is doing really well with, it just did not look the same with Carson Wentz. Offensive line wasn't as great. And the defense, it's been revived in a way with Jalen Hurts. So that's still some stuff that Wentz can't really control. But he still has taken a lot of steps back since his near MVP season where he got injured. The year that Nick Foles took over, they won the Super Bowl. I believe maybe if Bill Belichick and their offense coordinator, Josh McDaniels, they were able to work with him for like an entire offseason, he'd be able to play like his former almost MVP self. I don't think he's ever going to be that great, but I believe he still can be like a top 10, top 15 quarterback in the league. He does have a few bad traits. He does like to play hero ball a lot. Some of his passing, just the way sometimes he sets his feet is bad. His stance is messed up in a way. So that is all needs to be fixed a little, needs to be tinkered. But I do think Josh McDaniels and Bill Belichick, they'd be able to fix that, maybe rejuvenate his career. This would be an interesting trade. Maybe they'd give up like a 2nd-round pick, a 3rd. Depends on what the value of Carson Wentz is. I'm not really sure at this point because the way Jalen Hurts has been playing, that's definitely made Wentz's value go down a little. To see Hurts, a rookie, have so much success with this core that Wentz struggled for quite a while with. So this wraps up my video of what the Patriots need to be doing looking forward. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Make sure to like and subscribe. And comment below who you guys think the Patriots should draft with their 1st-round pick. So, have a great day.